Hi, it's Phil from Delphi, and in today's how-to video, I'm going to show you one of the most misunderstood things in the aftermarket, resetting the service history in the BMW iDrive. Now, BMWs have had an iDrive system for many, many years, and inside this system, they store the service history of the vehicle. When you carry out a service on them, you have to do two things. You reset the service light on the center instrument cluster, but in the menu system, you need to add the service history. Now, before we get into the technicalities, let's head inside the car and I'll show you where the service history is stored in the menu system. So the service history is a little bit different. We've got the service indicator on the instrument cluster. This is the one that you reset with the diagnostic tool. The service history is different on the iDrive. Let me show you where it is. We're going to head to vehicle information. We're then going to go to vehicle status. And again, this is the same in many of the BMWs. The menu system might be very, very slightly differently. We're going to scroll down to service requirements, and we're going to head to the top to service history. So we can see that this particular vehicle, this is a 2017, has had 2 services logged to the iDrive. And what we're going to do is, using the official method, we're going to log the next service and push the data directly into the iDrive. Now, this whole process might seem daunting and complicated, but actually it's not that difficult once you've done it a few times. You see, BMW have a system called AOS, Aftermarket Online System, and the service history is kept in their online portal. This car is also known as a connected vehicle, which means it has a virtual SIM inside it, which allows a remote telematics communication between the vehicle and the BMW servers. So let's go through the process. We're going to first create a free account on the BMW AOS system. Once that account is created, we're then going to head to the Applications tab and head to the first system called Casio. Casio is where all the service history of the vehicle is kept. Now, from this point, when we connect to the Casio system, we're going to input the vehicle's VIN number. Once we've done that, you'll be able to scroll down to see whether the vehicle has a connected car telematics contract. And at this point, we're going to branch. If the car does have a connected car contract, which you can see here clearly by displaying yes or no, then all we need to do is enter the service history into the Casio system, and all of the vehicle's information will be pushed over the internet directly into the vehicle's iDrive. There is nothing else the technician needs to do. Where it differs, if the vehicle's connected car contract has actually expired. If it has expired, then the process is a little more involved, and we're going to need to use another BMW system called ISTA. ISTA is the diagnostic tool used by a BMW. So if it has expired, the process is fairly simple. We're still going to log the service history in Casio. We're still going to enter all the vehicle details, but of course it's not going to automatically go from Casio into the iDrive. We're going to plug ISTA in, and we're going to use ISTA to transfer the data from Casio to iDrive. Now, to do this, I'm going to use the ISTA diagnostic software and the Delphi Bluetech VCI. Now, for this, we're going to be using the pass-through functionality of the VCI to be able to do that data transfer. You don't need to purchase a separate VCI to do this. So we need to launch ISTA, but to use ISTA, there is an hourly, weekly, monthly, or yearly cost. If you are just going to transfer the service history, then you can just purchase 1 hour. Once you've done this, you can go ahead to the Applications tab and go to the ISTA Workshop System section. There'll be a list of all the items you need to download and install to get the software working. We first communicate with the vehicle, and you can see that this is a 330e, so we're going to get a few warnings about being an alternative drive hybrid vehicle. It's just a standard safety warning. Now the software's launched, we can head to Vehicle Management and into the Service Function tab. And we can see that we can have an option to write service history to the iDrive. This then is going to transfer the data we've inputted into Casio all the way through into the vehicle's iDrive instantly. The process is now completed. We're going to go back to the iDrive and check that the data has actually been transferred from the Casio online server into the iDrive system. So let's go back into vehicle information and go back into status, through to service history. And we can now see that the additional service history that we entered today is now already in the iDrive system. Now you'll notice that there are some codes on the right hand side. The bottom service has a code and the other two are all with zeros. And that's just because that when an aftermarket garages enter the service history, even using the official method, it gives the dealer code as all of zeros. So don't forget, we reset the instrument cluster here using your DS Diagnostic Tool software, and then the ISTA software using the pass-through function to pull the data onto the iDrive. So just to note that if you're using any other equipment or any method that isn't the official BMW one, then you might find that the service history isn't in chronological order. The date order often will just put the most recent service to the bottom of the list. This is particularly bad, of course, if the vehicle has lots of services, because they're all going to appear out of date order. So we just recommend using the official method, the official ISTA software, using the pass-through functionality of the DS BlueSec VCI. Thanks for watching. For more videos, why not follow us on social media or visit the Masters of Motion online hub. And for more expert-led courses, visit us online at the Delphi Academy. See you next time.